Yeah, so I mean, what we start to get into and really delve into is whether that's tools or operational rationalization of things, right? Sometimes those are. I mean, is it safe to say that those are both cultural, people, technological, and operational challenges all kind of bundled into one there? So, Vinny, your thoughts on the barriers to, to start down that road.
Yeah, John. And I think both panelists bring up a very common set of criteria that are typical barriers. As I was preparing for this conversation, I outlined three things that I like to talk about. One is people. I think we talked about that. There's a real, I won't say it's fear. It's a real lack of certainty. I think I put a parallel to this or a similarity to when automation, think about 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago when automation started taking place into enterprises. There's a lot of insecurity around adopting new ideas because either became a fear of job security or a fear of responsibility and visibility and ability to act onto your area of domain of expertise. But I think people is going to be really key. As we talk about this centralized autonomy, it's a thin line to kind of convey that centralized directives are okay but you have to have a feedback, right? And if you can make people comfortable in getting the feedback that what they say and what they're asking matters into the centralized autonomy, then you have a win-win. The other piece I found also working with federal agencies in this type of model is process agility. How often have we all met? We had discussed, we love this idea, love this concept, but it doesn't fit into an existing process. And as we all know, process in federal government takes a while to change, right? It's a long journey, it's a marathon, not a sprint. And I think that the last piece is a challenge around organizational authority versus how budgets are allocated. Now, we talked about this briefly, is, when you talk about having some shiny new capability that has a lot of benefits to a lot of missions, sometimes you can present, but you can't force because the budget and the buying authority sits within a different line of business, doesn't sit at the CIO office, right? And so those three things are areas I found are barriers that we have to have patience, you have to work through, and you have to just educate people around why the benefits are great for the organization.